The year is 2025. You're a 30-something-year-old dad grocery shopping with your son at Target. Cruising through the aisles, checking off items from a grocery list your wife gave you. Then, a flash of nostalgia hits. You remember the joy you felt when, as a kid, your parents would let you pick out a pack of Pokemon cards at the checkout. The rush, the excitement, it was a simple, magical time. Filled with nostalgia and love for your son, you ask, "Hey buddy, want to grab a pack of Pokemon cards for coming to the store with me?" His little face lights up with pure ecstasy. You can barely keep up as he rushes to the front of the store, his tiny legs pumping in excitement. But tragedy strikes. There's only one pack of Pokemon cards left and two grown men are fighting tooth and nail for it. One man is hospitalized, the other escapes with the cards. You do your best to console your crying child, telling him not to worry, that you're going to take him to Disney World at the end of the week. A few days pass, and your beautiful family enters the gates of Disney World. Your son is filled with excitement, tugging on your shirt to lead you to the first ride. But something feels off. Where are all the kids? When you were his age, Disney was packed with kids, but now, all you see are adults. You try to shake it off and take your son to the first ride, only to find a small army of adults crowded in line. Your son is distraught, your wife upset, and you confused. So what exactly is going on here? Is the world just going backwards? Stay tuned, because I have some thoughts. And yes, they involve a deep dive into why your Funko Pop collection is actually a cry for help. Hello again, my slim thick viewers. I'm Content Cone. Did you miss me? Because I sure missed you. Today, I will be throwing stones from my glass house by tackling something that's been affecting a lot of people, and I'm sure it's been all over your feeds and real life lately. The adult-child problem. So what is an adult child? Why does it even matter? Well, as someone who's in their 20s and ritualistically pays full price for Pokemon games every year, and then complains about them like they were still made for me, I feel uniquely qualified to speak on this. Cambridge Dictionary defines man-child as an adult man who does not behave in the calm, serious, or sensible way that you would expect from someone of his age. But honestly, this definition doesn't really capture the full scope of the species I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen them. A guy in the Legend of Zelda Triforce graphic tee, a man with the video game Hearts tattoo, and of course, the dreaded Funko Pop collector. Yes, we've all worked with one, been related to one, or God forbid, had to interact with one for longer than 5 minutes. And you can still feel the unease just thinking about these creatures. But how did these man-children come to be? What happened, or didn't happen, in their lives to make them soy jack over Pokemon cards at 30? Throughout history, every culture had its own way of distinguishing boys from men. But what actually makes someone a man? Is it when you reach a certain height? When you develop a beard? What about the guys who can't grow facial hair? Humanity wrestled with this question for centuries, and they came up with some wild rites of passage to prove that a boy had earned the right to be called a man. For example, the Vanuatu tribe in the South Pacific builds a 100-foot-tall tower once a year. Boys as young as 5 climb to the top, attach vines to their ankles, and dive headfirst towards the ground, proving their manhood and appeasing the gods for a good harvest. A truly high-stakes initiation.
Only 2 fragile vines save them from crashing into the ground. It's the ancient precursor of bungee jumping. Chief Willie Orienbebe presides over his village's ceremony.
When they climb on a tower, they have no fear. The man's faith helped him to put the fear out, and then he must jump. He must take an action to jump.
And then there's the bullet ant glove of the Sateri Mawe tribe in Brazil, where young men must stick their hands into a glove filled with bullet ants and endure their bites for 10 minutes without making a sound. These ants contain the most painful venom from any insect known to man.
Just one sting could cause an allergic reaction powerful enough to kill. Dancing and chanting helps keep the boys' minds focused. The pain is so intense, it can play tricks on the psyche. Men have reported wanting to cut off their own hands to escape it. But they must also keep moving. Dancing keeps the blood pumping through their veins, which helps dissipate the poison. And sweating releases it from the body. The boys' hands swell and become paralyzed. The pain spreads up their arms to their chests. And it will last for 24 hours.
But what does this have to do with man-children and Super Mario beanies, you might ask? Well, here's my theory. In modern Western society, there's no rite of passage for young men. In the past, wars like the Civil War, World Wars, and Vietnam acted as rites of passage. Young boys had to prove their manhood on the battlefield. But now we have the Hot Chip Challenge. Is this the only explanation for the man-child epidemic? Of course not, but it's definitely worth thinking about. I can already hear the man-children in the back yelling, "Just let people enjoy things." But their actions are making it hard to agree with them. Take the Pokemon card situation. Man-children are literally robbing kids of their childhood experiences. At this rate, some kid will never be able to buy a pack of Pokemon cards because some adult dude bought every single one while the kid was still at school.
Costco Pokemon card fight.
And this isn't just some minor issue. It's turning into full-on fights. Grown men getting into fistfights over Pokemon cards. Are we being for real? Now I've spent all this time talking about man-children, but let's switch gears. This one is for the girlies. While there's not exactly a female equivalent to man-child, there is something close: the Disney adult. Most Disney adults are women who were told they were princesses growing up and refused to let go of that fantasy. Now, they're roaming Disney World, taking up space that should be reserved for children, having Disney-themed weddings, and turning their adulthood into one big, overpriced, mouse-themed dream. So what, if anything, can we learn from this? Force your son to nosedive from a stick tower in your backyard? Level up your hand-to-hand in the card section of a Target? Make sure she doesn't have a Disney dependency before proposing? I'm not sure, and I'm too busy complaining about a video game that was not made for me to care. Goodbye.